Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. It is March 5th, 2024. We have a gold breakout on our hands. This is new record highs seen in the gold price. This is the first time that gold has ever traded above $2,100. This is happening now in real time, right in front of our eyes. We have a lot to talk about. Guys, I'm not joking. I think there's the possibility to change one's life here coming up over the next 18 months. If you really look at what this market is providing, and remember, you only need to be right once to change your life forever going forward. This looks like it's one of those opportunities if you really understand where the value is here as gold is breaking out. And this is not hypothetical anymore. I mean, this is happening. We see gold at new highs today. Literally today. So, watch this video, study this video, think about how you would like to change your life going forward. What would you do if you had a level of money, a level of resources that you could make discretionary decisions on where to live, how to live, where you want to work, how much do you want to work, who do you want to work for, right? This is the type of opportunity that is setting up in these markets right now. Okay, let's get into it. Guys, I've taken a little bit of time off here. I was in Vancouver at the conference. I'll talk about that in a moment. But I'm going to start making videos here on YouTube on a more regular basis now that we have the breakout on our hands. So make sure to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when these videos come out here on YouTube. Otherwise, you're going to miss them. I'm telling you, sometimes you miss a week of price action here and you're going to be so far behind. So don't let that happen. Make sure to subscribe. And hey, if you'd like to leave a thumbs up, I would very much appreciate that. It really helps the algorithms here on YouTube. So thanks for taking 1 second to do that. Last but not least, make sure to follow our completely free Twitter or X feed at iGlobalGold. Some weeks I don't have a chance to post YouTube videos, but I often post quicker things onto the iGlobalGold feed on Twitter, completely free. All right, let's look at this opportunity here. I'm not joking about this. I really think this is a life-altering opportunity here over the next 18 months. That said, we have a legal disclaimer as always. And now we get into it. Let's talk about the record highs. Here we are. Gold 2010 through the present. You can see we're clearly above the 2011 highs now. It had been flirting with that a number of times. Let's look at how this was shaping up from a technical basis. We had the first attempt to get above 2,075 here in 2020. Then we had the second attempt here. This was when Russia invaded Ukraine, beginning of 22. And notice how these 2 points match up basically completely even here, plus or minus just a fraction, a few dollars. And then, wow, look at point number 3. Look at how that matches up exactly with points 1, 2, and 3. When you have something like that, you look at a market and you say, okay, that's clearly forming a resistance zone. So the resistance zone was between 2,075 to 2,079 in the spot market. In this service, we're always talking about spot prices unless you hear me say otherwise. And then look at what happened here after point number 3. We had point number 4, which briefly got above points 1, 2, and 3. But what? In retrospect, we can say that was a false breakout. You can see it couldn't sustain it. This breakout attempt number 3 actually happened in the overnight trading in Asia, in the Hong Kong markets, when the markets open Monday morning in Hong Kong. And then by the time the U.S. markets opened, the price had already gone back into the congestion zone here. So we can say that was a false breakout. And I have to tell you something, guys. This attempt number 5 right here does not look like a false breakout. Number 5 looks like the real deal. Why am I saying that? Because it's held now. I mean, this is being recorded on a Tuesday. We'll see what happens through the end of the week. But we've already had one weekly close above this clear former resistance zone. If it can hold through Friday, that would be 2 weekly closes. generally, in my experience of following these markets here for the last 15 years, I would tell you that with 2 weekly closes above a key resistance point, you eliminate about 80 to 85% of the false signals. And so we're here. We already got the 1 weekly close. Every day that goes by now that gold can hold above 2075 to 2079, this gets closer and closer to being the real thing. And then we talk about, okay, what is the pattern that gold is in? Look at it. Coming all the way back here from the lows in 2022, we can notice a clear series of higher peaks and higher lows, higher peaks and higher lows. So we're in a rising channel with a breakout underway. I suspect that there is a little bit more to go here over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And then I think this market is going to surprise people. And the people who approached this market too late are going to get caught here for a couple of months. I think the market's going to back off again as we get into the early part of the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. And then I think this is going to constitute a functional retest of this 4-year resistance zone. And then when we get into the later part of 2024 into 2025, this market is going to take off and start moving its way into the zone of the mid-2000s. And we will discuss at a future date potential targets and how that's looking. That analysis is now going out to our premium subscribers. If you'd like to join us there, you will get those updates this Thursday as to our official price target. So this is the look for gold right now. The behavior of this breakout attempt is very different from any of the previous attempts here. So this looks like a legitimate breakout that is underway. And so we have to start changing our expectations for this market here. I like to take the market in chunks. I don't like to think ahead 10 years into the future. But I think a 12 to 24 month window here where we get a wave-like pattern of notably higher gold prices is in store for this market. And the evidence is right here in front of you. So let's talk about something really fascinating here that's going on in this market. And this is why I think I'm not going to hide my words here, guys. This is a life-altering opportunity over these next 12 to 24 months for those who have the ability to see through the noise and see what is happening here. What I'm talking about is that despite the breakout that we are witnessing right now, I mean, you just saw it on the last chart. Despite that, the sentiment in the gold sector remains low. It remains low. So what am I talking about? I'm just talking about the pulse of the investors. Is the average investor, when you go out to the park, when you go to the neighborhood coffee shop, when you're talking with your general friends and family, do you know people who are telling you, hey, the gold price just hit a new all-time high? I don't. It's only the real diehards still that are even aware of this. And what I'm trying to say is this is actually a good thing. So don't be upset about that. It means that there's still more room for this to go to the upside. I want to show you one additional piece of evidence for this. What we're looking at here is the same gold price in yellow. These are gold futures now, and this was the breakout that we were just talking about right there, going back to 2019. Okay, so you can see the price of gold itself has broken out. And now to talk about how bad that sentiment is, what we're looking at here is the, in blue, these are the holdings in the largest gold ETF on the planet. This is the Spider Gold Trust, the GLD fund. When the average person buys and sells gold, they tend to do it through these ETFs. The average person typically is not taking physical delivery of coins or bars. And so what we're seeing here is that despite gold breaking out to a record high price, the holdings of this GLD fund, look at this, are actually lower by several hundred tons. Look at this, from 1,300 tons down to where we are today, below 900 tons. So this market, what's actually happening here is that despite the price going higher, average mainstream investors are selling their gold because they're not interested in this market. So again, you need to be a contrarian about this kind of thing. It's one thing to say, well, the average investor is being kind of silly here. Yes, that's true. But it's also a good thing that the average investor is not in this market. Because from a contrarian standpoint, what it means is when these people come back into the market, they're going to add fuel onto the fire within the next 12 to 18 months here. As gold is going higher, at some point, these mainstream investors are going to say, wait a minute, we're missing this rally. Let's buy back our gold. And they're going to cause the price to go even higher. But they're missing the breakout now. You can see the evidence for that. And that, once again, is a good thing. So we have some ways to go in this rally here in front of us. Now, as one other piece of evidence as to what is shaping up and how bad the sentiment is in this sector, despite gold being at an all-time high now, for crying out loud, today, a new all-time high. So if you can agree with me that the sentiment is poor in the GLD fund, you just saw the evidence for that, you've got to understand that the sentiment is also poor in the gold miners, right? A lot of people look to invest in the gold miners as a way to leverage the price of gold. Here, we're looking at a 3-part chart. Here you can see that gold itself is breaking out to new all-time highs. We just talked about that. But then look at the gold miners to gold ratio. Notice that it's fallen all the way back to this very gently rising long-term trend. This goes all the way back to late 2015, right? So the gold miners are testing an important low even as the gold price itself is breaking out to new all-time highs. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's because the sentiment is still so poor in this sector. And once again, if you understand that there's still room to go on this and that at some point the sentiment is going to revert higher as gold is going higher, this is your opportunity. I'm not joking. Think about what you would do if you were in a different position in your life over the next 12 to 18 months as far as your resources and finances available. Think about it. This is one of the opportunities. I can't put it any other way. I'm not going to be talking about this 6 months from now, 12 months from now, when the opportunity has already passed. It's right now. So if you look, here's one of the gold miners, and I'm going to share the name with you in a moment for free. But for this second, I just want to call it Gold Miner X. This is a gold miner that I own shares in, that our premium subscribers own shares in. And so you can look for yourself and see here when this ratio, we're talking the gold miners to gold ratio, bottomed here in very early 2016. Notice what happened to Gold Miner X. When this ratio bottomed and had this move higher here, this gold miner that we own shares in was higher by 1,000%. Think about that. If you had invested $10,000, that becomes $100,000. That's life-changing for many people, right? That's the kind of opportunity that I believe is setting up right now and over the next 12 to 18 months. Look at the second time that this ratio bottomed at this exact trend that is being tested right now. Look at this opportunity. Just move the chart to follow down here from this arrow and look at where that coincided exactly with this bottom. So this bottom with this bottom, here the stock rose 380%. Still a move that would change many people's lives, especially considering this happened in just 4 months. Aha. Look at where we are today. Do you see this? I mean, guys, these opportunities present themselves about once every 5 years. So really sit and think about what I'm saying here today and think about if you have the reward and risk tolerance for taking a unique chance at changing your life. Here we are again. The stock is back at the same level. Why has it fallen so far? We just talked about it. Because the average person is not anywhere near this sector. We just saw the evidence for that in the GLD chart a moment ago. So it's a question. How high is this thing going to go this time that we're back to this level? Could it be 380%? Absolutely it could. I would be very pleased with that. Could it be 1,000% again? Absolutely, it could. I would be very pleased with that. There are no guarantees in anywhere in the markets, but we look at all the previous times that this ratio has bottomed at sentiment levels that are as low as they are today, and you can see the opportunity. Okay, so now you're saying, okay, Chris, I'm with you. What is this Gold Miner X? As I said, I'm going to give this away for free. The only thing that you have to do is watch the free talk that I gave at the Vancouver Resource Conference in 2024. Click on the description below. It is absolutely free. And in that talk, that's the talk that I gave in Vancouver just a few weeks ago. In that talk, I reveal the exact name of Gold Miner X. And so then you can learn about it and decide for yourself. I do want you to see the other analysis that's in that talk too. That's why I'm not just going to repeat it here. It's a 20-minute talk. Really worthwhile if you're considering the possibility here of how this could impact your life. So watch that video, click the link below to learn about Gold Miner X if you're interested. If you would like to learn about the other gold miners that we are investing in here that all have that same profile, they all have that same opportunity. We right now own 8 different gold and silver mining companies. So you're going to learn about Gold Miner X in the free video. If you want to learn about the other ones, you got to check out our subscription service called Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. We produce weekly videos just like you're seeing now, but in addition to that, you also get the exact open market investments that we are making, buy and sell signals sent right to your inbox. And guys, we just closed out a trade today. Not joking. You can see this in the archives of the member section. We booked an 80% profit on one trade in 2 trading days. So think about what that would look like for you if you had invested alongside with us. It's been frustrating in the sector, but when you stick with it day in and day out, you can recognize these opportunities. You'll see the trade posted in the members section that we just booked this profit on. So I'm really happy for our members that just booked that because it's been a rough couple years here. So it's nice to have these profits when we can get them. If you would like to take your investing career to the next level even, you've got to understand the power of private placements. Private placements, we get to invest in the exact same types of companies here that we buy and sell in the open market, like Gold Mining Company X. But if you can commit a minimum of $7,000 US, then you get much more upside for free compared to buying the exact same stocks as we do here in the open market. And the reason that you get more upside for free is because you get warrants for free with every single investment that you make. And so the companies reward you if you can commit that minimum. It's about $7,000 US for each investment that we do here. If you can commit that minimum, the companies are going to reward you with extra upside potential. And remember, you won't miss out on anything here in PMI Plus. You get a free subscription to that if you join us in the elite service. If you are new to the precious metal sector or thinking about a change to your unique situation, your personal situation, just know that I've worked with hundreds of investors from all around the world, from absolute beginners to those who have multi-million-dollar portfolios and they're looking to diversify across with some of those assets in the precious metals sector. You can book a consultation. We sit down, we talk by phone or by Skype, however is convenient for you. And we go over exactly what I would do in your situation. So think about this, guys. Gold is breaking out. You saw the chart. Yet, the average mainstream investor, think about who I'm talking about here. Think about your sweet uncle. Think about the parents on your kids' soccer or football team. Think about the local patrons at your neighborhood watering hole. Are they talking about the gold that they're buying now that it's at an all-time high and breaking out? I don't think so. So because that is the case, the sentiment in the sector is still quite subdued. And that is going to revert in this cycle. And those companies like we looked at, Gold Mining Company X, make sure to click the link to the free Vancouver talk so you can see what that company is. Those companies that are trading at such subdued levels right now are the opportunities for life-altering reversions higher. Think about it. I'm glad you're here. Make sure to subscribe. I'll be back here on YouTube soon.